So we'll get to miss all that stuff because I forgot to start the recording. All right. Close all that. All right. So next is reports from council. Councilman Mark Thompson.
I have nothing to report right now.
All right, thank you. Next is Councilwoman Christy Lyons.
I have nothing to report either.
All right, and next is Councilwoman Angie Terrell.
This isn't Clear Lake Shores directly affected, but it affects all of us. I've been monitoring the CDC numbers for COVID-19 since we started. That's my only source that I'm looking at to try to take out the variables. And today, for the first time in the past 5 weeks since I've been looking at it daily, the numbers went down by 10,000. That's the first time I've seen it go down that significantly, and deaths were down by 800, and that's the U.S. Reported to the CDC daily. So just an interesting tidbit. I was really excited and surprised to see that many down. So just FYI.
Thank you for that, Councilwoman Terrell. All right, Councilwoman Jan Bailey. You have to unmute. You need to unmute. There you go. You're not unmuted, Jan.
Okay, I just had a question. I was wondering if any of the council folks know when the flyover is. I've seen a lot of different times and schedules.
Yeah, I have that, and I can address it. So the Blue Angels will be around 1 o'clock here on tomorrow. They start at 12. And then Friday will be the Lone Star Flight Museum. It looks like they'll be coming over Kemah, Clear Lake Shores area around 12:55, and then heading back to Ellington.
Thank you for that. That's
All right. Thanks, Dan. Councilwoman Amanda Fenwick.
Thanks, Mayor. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
So I have a couple things tonight. First, I want to remind everybody it's hurricane preparedness week. So get out your checklist to make sure you have your plans and your kits and your water, and I'd say your toilet paper, but I think everybody's good on that. So make sure you're prepared. Hurricane season starts June 1st, and I know those of us that live along the Gulf Coast we get a little bit more heightened awareness this time of year. And then the second thing is just a reminder to residents that trash needs to be in, they won't accept anything that's loose. Know that from experience. And then same with recycle, it needs to be in a clear plastic bag. I saw a couple of recycle bins that just had loose items this morning or this afternoon, and they were still sitting there. So AmeriWaste requires during this COVID time, and who knows, might be a permanent thing, but for everything to be bagged up in order for them to pick it up. So just a friendly reminder, and that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Fenwick. All good points. Mayor's report. I just have a couple of things. Just so everybody knows that Galveston County sent out their tax appraisals, which was a little bit shocking on that month. It went up 10 to 15% on average. Myself and Brent are looking at creating or writing a letter to go to the appraisal review board, with asking them to go back to the 2019 rates. And then also, I don't know how many people have seen it, but Judge Henry sent out 4 or 5 letters to the Representative Mays Middleton and Greg Bonin, and also Senator Taylor and Senator Creighton, for trying to get those to go back to 2019 rates, to freeze those back to then. And then because of the additional hardships that were burdened to us from the Texas families due to the COVID-19 situation that we're going through.
So is that something that can be on behalf of, Mayor, is that something that can be on behalf of council? Because I was starting to reach out to our representatives when I saw that Judge Henry did that today, but I'd like to have my name on that letter as well, or at least on behalf of council or something.
What I can do is we can put it on the agenda. That would take the next one or an emergency meeting to vote for that.
Can you just say in the letter, like on behalf of council and the residents or something, just so that we're a part of it? Included somehow?
I would need it's not on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I can't do it unless it's on the agenda. So we can have an emergency meeting, which we've done in the past. And it's going to be easy with the not Teams, but Zoom. So I can do
Yeah,
that.
I don't know how the rest of council feels, but I mean, I think I feel strongly enough about that because I think we're all pretty shocked about that. But just so that we're a unified
Yes.
voice from the city.
I'm interested.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. So Christy Strop, if you can put together an emergency meeting with one item on it, consider the letter and being approved by and sent by the mayor and the city administrator and approved by council.
Thank you.
Thanks. And then moving on, I flipped my book and didn't know where I was. Looking at June 2nd for a city council meeting. Well, that's when the next city council will be, or in June. And we will working on hosting and recognizing the high school graduates in the local area, which would be, I would assume, Clear Lake, most likely Lazy Bend. But we'd like to give them some credit and make that public for them. And other than that, that was the Blue Angels and the Lone Star Flight Museum. So that's all I've got. Next is staff reports, item 4 for Police Department Chief Keel. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I appreciate y'all's time. I don't have a lot. I won't take up much of your time. The stats for the month of April are in considerably low. We had 13 traffic contacts, 1 DWI arrest, 1 possession of controlled substance, 1 possession of drug paraphernalia. We had 2 thefts, 4 total arrests for the whole month. Assisted 1 other agency. We did 19 residential checks and 1,108 business checks. We did unfortunately have a resident pass away. I won't mention the family's name, but if you could just keep, I'm sure everyone's aware who it is, just keep their family in your thoughts and prayers. We basically have been continuing on our operations that we started early on in the COVID response. I know that we've all heard about the situation next door in Kemah. I will tell you that budgetarily speaking, if budgetarily is budgetarily a word, I don't think it is. I think I just made a new word. We are at 0 overtime. We have not spent a dime on overtime. We have maintained less than 50% of budget items, line items, and things that we have planned for the year. We've slowed everything down. Obviously, we haven't been doing near as much, but that's been an effort that's taken all of us to do it. And I will tell you that we have not had 1 person call in sick. We haven't had 1 missed day or a situation where the guys weren't just ready to help out and be there. And I think that the officers and staff of the police department that work with me should be commended for their efforts. Those guys they've kept their morale up. They've kept their motivation up. They just want to help, and I have to applaud them for it. I want to put that on record tonight. And that's really all I have to share for the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Keel. I'm probably speaking on behalf of everybody and council, but we really appreciate the PD's, everything that they've done, and especially with the 0 overtime, but all the work they've done. Appreciate that. All right, next is billing official Kevin Harrell.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and council, reporting that since our last meeting, I've issued 22 permits. They've all been minor permits. I'd like to point out that we have a new food truck. I'm sure you've noticed over there next to Skipper's, which is sponsored by Schaefer's Grill. I encourage anyone to sorry. I encourage anybody to go out to our local businesses and support them. They definitely need our money. As for Target is finishing up. I did the final inspection Monday morning. They still have the fire marshal's inspection and the Galveston County Health inspection to do. You will see the containers and the tent disappear this week, and they will be restriping the parking lot probably Friday. Aspen's is building a new deck over the water, and he'll be installing a new palapa on top of it. So some nice shade over the water will be a nice addition to the city. Code enforcement, I have currently 4 cases pending. I have 2 cases resolved. That's all I have to report.
All right, thank you, Kevin. All right, next is Kima Volunteer Fire Department is not present. Galveston County Health District, Amy Weber is not present. City Administrator Brent Spear.
Good evening. It's very unusual we get this deep into the reports, and I'm not mopping the floor, but I'm the first person to wish everyone happy Cinco de Mayo. So happy Cinco de Mayo. We'll make this quick. 8 weeks into this coronavirus pandemic, the city has resumed a modified daily operations. We are open for business. We have posters, we have things on the ground to encourage social distancing, we have hand sanitizer, and our regiment within the building as far as cleaning is happening more frequently. And with all employees, we've covered sanitizing and hygiene requirements. We have PPE available to any employee. Police department uses it frequently, and we have it available for office staff if they feel the need to wear a mask. We are all practicing social distancing, and this meeting is a perfect example of that again. With Galveston County, I do follow our local numbers. The numbers as of this morning, there was 18,650 tested, almost 650 confirmed cases, 354 recovered, and we've had 28 deaths attributed to COVID-19. There are 266 active cases, 19 are hospitalized, and 247 are self-quarantined. And I keep watching the confirmed cases to the recoveries. That's kind of my benchmark. Let's see, statewide, they've tested almost 430,000 people, and they've got 33,000 confirmed and just shy of it. We have 906 deaths. Today's conference call with Dr. Kaiser with the EMCs and the health department, he advised that we had 11 new confirmed cases today on May 5th. It'll be rolled out. It's rolled out today, and he estimates that there's somewhere between 600 and 700 tests per day that are taking place with all of the health partners that are involved. So we have hospitals, we have private businesses, and other healthcare providers that are doing those tests. So he's very encouraged with that. Again, we're continuing what we're going to do, and we remind everyone to practice that SPICE, which is surveillance, protection, isolation, communication, and evaluation. So we keep doing what we're doing. We're not ready to throw the green flag and come screaming out of the gate, but we're getting closer. And remember to protect your neighbors. Our local emergency disaster declaration is in effect until May 12th. So as part of the probably anticipated emergency meeting to talk about that, get approval for that letter, we may also look at extending our disaster declaration. That's so that we can continue to do our cost analysis. We don't have tremendous costs, but if the longer it goes, the more it kind of runs in the background. And those are costs that are directly attributed to this event. The fact the police department are working and that they continue to do what they do, and they have restricted schedule because of contact with the public is nothing attributed. They're going to have to work regardless of whether it was COVID or not. The costs that we can get recovered are like the masks and the PPE and sanitizers and things like that. So that's what we're tracking. We're also tracking my time and TK's time as we deal with, specific problems related to the crisis. Just as of today, we've completed our hurricane preparedness and response plan. It's being reviewed internally. That'll be an internal document. And we also have a continuity of services plan. It's in the same process, and we'll probably have some additions to that. And as far as continuity of services, I had included weather-related events because that's what we think of. But since we're going through this pandemic, that's also included, and that can be applied to other things. On roads and drainage, we are evaluating the Cobb Finley proposal, and as soon as they approve their minutes, I'll be talking to Cobb Finley about some items that we had questions on. In pools and parks, everyone's excited to get back into that pool. We have some restrictions on it. It's for exercise only, maximum of 5 people, and there's no furniture there to sit and linger with. So it's open for exercise only. We encourage people to utilize that, practice social distancing, and be aware that maybe you have neighbors that want to get in there and do that as well. So I haven't observed any violations of that. And as far as the pool goes, we did have some tile work done. I had another pool tile pop off. It was one that wasn't fixed. The company that did our original repairs came back out and fixed that and explained to me that our pool is with that sandstone is ending its useful lifetime. So just for planning purposes, I'm going to have them give me an estimate on correcting that problem. On Drawer Avenue, I'm awaiting information from the Galveston County engineering staff to make sure that we have the final as far as our right-of-way. So I will follow up again tomorrow with that. Usually if they don't have the update, they're not getting back to me. And then once we have that confirmed, then we will be ready to present to Mr. Drawer for that acquisition. On the economic development front, I have engaged with an electrical engineer to design the power and the parking lot lighting design for the new parking lot at Clear Lake Road and Marina Bay. And they gave the approval not to exceed $5,000, and between the electrical engineer and Cobb Finley, who's going to review mechanicals and confirm windstorm compliance, I think we're at $3,600. So we came in under an anticipated budget. And on a related note with EDC, we have other cities around the state. I rolled out an article to them to just show them that if they kind of led the way, but there are several cities that are utilizing their EDC type Bs for helping their local businesses. And when you read what they're allowing those expenses to be, it reads just like Clear Lake Shores, who was the first one out of the gate. It's for rent, it's for operating expenses, and it's for salaries of your workers. So, it was, it's nice to be copied. Maybe not under the circumstances, but Clear Lake Shores led the way with that. So good job to everyone again. I did talk to Carrie Kelly today, resident, familiar with her, have an annual blood drive for cancer research that she sponsors. And she's going to confirm, but June 5th, we anticipate having a blood drive for MD Anderson. They're anticipating being up and running at that point. In my report, there's a link where you can sign up for that. And if there is a change and it gets pushed out, you'll be notified if you leave your email. So last year, that entire, it was a 5-hour period, was completely filled up. So we did very well for the public and for cancer research. As far as public works, they're keeping up on sanitation of facilities and grounds. And I think the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. I appreciate everybody, and I'm very happy to report and dovetail off of Chief Keel, that all of our employees are healthy, their immediate families are healthy, and and as well as our elected officials. That speaks volumes for the things that we're doing, the sacrifices we're making, and the inconveniences of life that we're currently experiencing. It does work. So thank you for all you do.
Hey, Brent, I'd like to ask a question really quickly. I don't know as far as federal money and how that works. Is any of your time spent specifically dealing with COVID billable to, I mean, how is that kept track of and then you're reimbursed for it? Or is that just what you do and that's, like,
Yeah, I mean,
you're not dealing with that either? Yeah.
yeah. What I maintain a spreadsheet where I identify the time spent per day by date, specific activities. And those are our conference calls with either our local partners, health district, or state partners, or anything that is directly related to COVID response, whether I go get PPE, or
Right.
we're working directly on a planning thing, or I'm working with PK to work on a plan. So
Okay.
all those things are noted on my timesheet. I basically circle it, but I have a spreadsheet where I'm keeping track of that. I'm
Right.
up over about 90 hours right now of working on it. It doesn't add up very quickly.
I didn't know how that worked. I was wondering if that, was because it is a lot of time spent,
And
and-
we also are keeping track of donations, and we've been fortunate. We've been fortunate to receive a lot of donations from residents, from local businesses, from people that have businesses, and we appreciate that. Most of them don't want to be, they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They don't want to be recognized, and so we respect that. But with heartfelt thanks, we do that, and that also helps us get to our thresholds, because we can apply a reasonable number to those donated items, and even though we didn't purchase them, they have value as a donation, and they go towards our.
That's great. Thank you so much.
You're
I
welcome.
All right, anybody have any other questions? Having none, all right. Item number 5, public comments. At this time, any person with city-related business may speak to the council in compliance with the Texas Open Meeting Act. The city council may not deliberate. Comments from the public should be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per individual. Please raise your hand or unmute yourself if you'd like to speak at this time. Disclose your name and your address in the city. All right, having none, we'll move on to item 6, new business, consent agendas. Item A through C, check register, council meeting minutes from 4/21, and waterfront transfer of F-135B J. Joslin to Dean M. Cole.
Mayor, I'd like to pull item B. The minutes we received were from April 7th, not April 21st. So I will motion to approve items A and C.
So I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Amanda made a motion, Angie second. All in favor of consent agenda items A and C, all in favor, yay?
Yes.
Angie, and I got Christy, yes, and Mark? Yes, all right.
Yep.
Unanimous. All right. Next is consent item B.
Well, we need to table this because the minutes we received were not from April 21st. So we don't have a way to approve minutes from April 21st. The minutes we received were from our April 7th meeting.
Brent?
I don't have an explanation, but we'll get that on the next agenda. I apologize for the
Yeah,
confusion.
so we'll just add it to the next one.
So we'll need a strike.
Strike B.
Well, we're not going to, you need to not accept the council meeting minutes for 4/21 as they were submitted in error. So I need a motion for that. Anybody gonna
So
make a-
we need a motion to put April 21st on the council meeting on the next agenda. Is that what you're saying?
or not to accept these?
Okay, so I make a motion not to accept consent agenda B,
Item B.
item B.
I'll second to strike B.
All right. Christine Lyons made a motion. Jan Bailey second. All in favor of striking consent agenda item B.
Aye.
Aye.
Looks like Mark. Pass unanimous. All right. Next is item A, council business discussion and possible action will be taken on the following items. Item A is approved quarterly investment report for quarter ending December 31st, 2019. Anybody has any question on it? Straightforward. Unfortunately, it's going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll move to approve our quarterly investment report ending December 31st, 2019.
I'll second.
Amanda with the motion, Angie with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor? Any opposed? None. All right, item 8B, approved quarterly investment report for quarter ending March 31st, 2020. And as you can see, it doesn't get better.
Make a motion to approve the quarterly investment report for the quarter ending March 31st, 2020.
I'll second.
Angie with the motion, was that Kristen?
Amanda.
Amanda, sorry. Amanda with the second. All
Not
in
the
favor?
first or last time. Sorry. I said that's not the first or last time we get confused.
And we get it all the time.
I need an EV1 and an EV2.
There you go.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous. And then I did have, well, just to show real quick. I can share things real quick. One is this one, which is the flight path for Friday.
So cool.
Okay.
And I think Adri's putting that one out probably tomorrow. It's not on our social media yet.
That's great.
And so we're 18th. We're asked to go back to Ellington at around 12:55, 1 o'clock.
So they're doing both days, Wednesday and Friday?
So Wednesday's just going to be Blue Angels.
Okay.
It's supposed to be
And
beautiful weather for both.
What's that?
So it's supposed to be beautiful weather both days too.
Next is the Blue Angel one. That's tomorrow. So they'll be coming down from Dallas, Fort Worth, hit us, go around the medical center, head out towards Sugarman and hit Katy, and then come back across the city and hit us across Beltway 8 next to 45. And they're supposed to come by Kemah, and then they're going to head over to New Orleans. All right. With that, I always have to ask any go backs, but I'm not allowed to on this meeting. So there's no more agenda items. Thanks everybody for participating. And hopefully next time we'll see each other in the actual council meeting and in all of our nice fancy clothes and stuff. So we're adjourned at 7:08. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.